For the funeral service of former President Kibaki at the Nyayo National Stadium is ongoing, supervised by Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i. Leila Mohammed is at the Nyayo Stadium and is now joining us live for an update on how that exercise is ongoing. Leila, good afternoon. Is everything ready for tomorrow's interdenominational funeral service? And perhaps how many guests are expected to be present?
Well, Zena, before I go into the nitty-gritties of the planning and the preparations that have gone on this particular moment, and to tell you who is expected here, let me first speak to the Catholic Church, which is a significant player in this funeral of the late Mzee Kibaki, who, as we all know, was a Catholic. And we have the Archbishop of the Catholic Church in the Nyeri Diocese. Please allow me to speak to him first. What are we expecting? Because many Kenyans have seen the presence of the military in this funeral. How will the Catholic Church be, and will you be the main celebrant?
Thank you very much. We are here with Archbishop Philip Anyolo, who is Archbishop of the Diocese of Nairobi, Archdiocese of Nairobi, who will be the one presiding over the Mass tomorrow. I will preside over the Mass in Othaya for the funeral, but the main Mass will be presided by our Archbishop of Nairobi and accompanied by various bishops, me amongst them. We will pray for the soul of the late president and united with the whole country, raise our prayers for the mercy of God and also thanking God for the many blessings that we have received from these great statesmen and son of our soil. Maybe Archbishop Philip Anyolo can also add something, because he will be the main celebrant tomorrow.
Definitely, Bishop. Paint for us a picture of how the prayer ceremony will be tomorrow for many Kenyans who may not have an understanding of how things will be run.
So, as in the Catholic saint, the prayer will be a requiem mass. This is a mass. This is a prayer that is compact in the Catholic sense, where we have a send-off of our Christian, because we believe that his soul will rest in heaven. We want to give him a good send-off so that he may enter into the next life with the full happiness. And we remember the president, the retired president, in a special way because he was a practicing Catholic. So the way he lived is the way he's going to be buried, and that's the way he's going to live. So he lived as a Catholic, so he'll be buried as a Catholic with this requiem mass, and tomorrow, as it will continue in Nyeri, and then we shall lay him to rest, and rest in peace with God himself.
We know the chaplaincy from the Kenya Defence Forces has played a significant role inside the precincts of Parliament, praying for the body of the late. How will the synergy between the civilian and the military part of spiritual leadership work side by side in the next 2 days?
This obviously is a state funeral, so it will have all the trappings of the commander-in-chief, and they will obviously bring all that in the honor of our late president. But they are also, the military chaplaincy are the ones who are organizing together with us, together with the Archdiocese of Nairobi, Archdiocese of Nyeri, in the liturgical organization. But we also have present other religious leaders from other faiths who will also be present, praying together, and various other choirs from other faiths who are also going to participate. And so it has been a good joint of all the feelings, of all the prayers of godliness of our country uniting, and the military are the ones who are making this happen in their organization. They've done a wonderful job.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Do have a good afternoon. We know you're waiting for CS Matiang'i to make the final touches. We'll be catching up with you later. But for the moment, thank you very much for joining us. Zainab, as you can hear, it's a loud scenario out here. The band from the Starehe Boys School is already playing at the back. The presidential standard and the national flag is just going through the paces. This will be the officers carrying these two significant symbols of Mwai Kibaki's presidency, the military police doing their very beat as they have always done. Zainab, as has been tradition, earlier in the morning, the body went through rehearsal because the military says they cannot do anything without necessarily doing serious preparations. The city was at a gridlock and a standstill early morning when there was the rehearsal of the body leaving Lee Funeral Home and going all the way to State House, Nairobi, and blocking off some sections of the city. We only saw 2 vehicles, the gun carriage and another one carrying officers escorting the body, but there was an entire parade of servicemen who are also accompanying that body at that particular time. This will be something they're seeing for the second time since 2020, when the body of the late Daniel Arap Moi left State House, Nairobi, backed by outriders. If I can remember, I counted about 11. We will be confirming tomorrow whether it will be the military or the National Police Service outriders who are part of the Presidential Guard, who escort the president everywhere he lives. They are at the beginning of this motorcade, and it will be a spectacular event, as the military says this will be happening. So the choir has been practicing several songs. We've seen them go through their paces. The most significant song that has been sung across the week, Zainab, is Eat As Well With My Soul. So both the military and the civilian part of the Kenyan society just remembering and saying this is a deep cut that has hit the community and the country at large, and it is well with our souls that our departed father is now going to his final resting place. Several dignitaries are expected, as you can see at the podium. All seats are being readied. Cabinet secretaries who will be giving us a press briefing later as they await the chairman of the funeral committee, who is also the cabinet secretary for Interior, CS Matiang'i, to come around. So much is happening here. Earlier, what we saw, Zainab, is when the military motorcade entered Nyayo National Stadium earlier in the morning, there was a significant towering figure of Brigadier Jeff Nyaga, who was at the center and at the beginning of that procession. As the funeral procession moved in, at that particular table in the center of this tent is where the body of the late Mwai Kibaki will be laid. This was a serious, significant part of how things will be. The military moving slowly in procession within the Nyayo National Stadium, but seriously keeping the nitty-gritties of those details in secret because of the security challenges that may come around this particular scenario. Much more we will be able to discuss and tell you more about the presidency of Mwai Kibaki, who was the country's 3rd commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, and it is for this reason that he is being accorded a state funeral with full military honors, as has been ordered by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the current Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Zainab, it's raining out here, but we'll still be on standby to wait on that statement by Mr. Matiang'i, who is expected here anytime now.
All right,